Oh, hopefully.
That was a quick new intro that just caught us off by guard.
That was really quick.
That was really quick. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Moms in Real Estate in the Morning. I'm so excited to be here with my co-host, Kristen Cantrell. And today we're always excited and have so much fun when we get to speak to one of our amazing partners. She's a partner of Moms in Real Estate. She's a partner with us at our brokerage and just somebody who we love in life, which is Kayla. Hi, friend. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for such a sweet intro.
Of course, of course. I mean, what I really should obviously focus on is the powerhouse that she is and how she, just crushes it in her personal production to the tune of like $40 million a year. And she now has her team that I'm just slightly obsessed with, the Lime Group, right?
The Lime List Group.
The Lime List.
The cutest.
The branding just caught my attention immediately. And so, but we were having a little bit of fun conversation right before we jumped on just the realities of what it is to be like a mom in real estate. And so I think we're just going to do that. We're going to have an authentic conversation, right?
We are. We want you guys to know that we're all human, and even these top producers that have it all together have very chaotic mornings.
And afternoons. And everything in between.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
We were all just laughing because, I mean, if anyone can relate with us, I was telling them how one time I accidentally went to drop my kids off on a day off, and they don't let me live it down. And then Randi and Kayla also have had situations where it's like, oh yeah, like this. Yeah, like we definitely have things we drop the ball on all the time.
Yes, like even feeding our children. This morning I forgot to feed my breakfast.
But I love how Kayla was like, it was like a win. She was like, we're only running 10 minutes late. And they were like, not to make you feel bad, Mom, but also we have an 8.
Yeah.
And that's what a gentle spirit my oldest is. Like she delivered it so gently.
Oh,
I know we're running late, Mom, but we have not had breakfast.
Like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's hard. We have so many different things that we're juggling that, like, I think that I always just give myself grace and I'm like, it's okay. Like, none of us have it all together. And we just have to, like, be like, it's okay. It's not the biggest deal in the world if they're late. And if I had to run through Starbucks on the way, or if I drop them off and there's no school.
Yep, absolutely.
Good morning, Kim.
Well, also what we wanted to talk about today on the morning show is like, let's talk about like what's working in your business right now.
Absolutely. Boundaries wise, schedule, lead gen.
I think that the girls would really like to hear lead gen. I don't know if you focus on open houses or not. Do you, Kayla?
I don't, but I can definitely share how to win with open houses if that is a lead pillar for someone.
Yep. I'm definitely hearing that question a lot right now. There's a lot of people doing open houses and not seeing success from them. And I'm like, no, they actually really work. Right. So let's talk about what works. Yeah. Okay.
Open houses 100% work. It is, I wouldn't even say so much of a numbers game as in consistency and effort. You can't get there 5 minutes before, rush and unlock the door, put your MLS flyer on the counter, and sit there and wait. The agents I see winning in open houses, and I even have a few ladies on my team where they want that to be one of their lead pillars. You need to get there like an hour before and door knock the neighborhood, not the little 4 houses surrounding the house, like 3 to 4 streets. Get out there, meet the people, invite them to the open house, the neighbors, even saying, even if it's not for you to buy a house right now, I want you to come check out how I host open houses. Come say hi, get to know me, help your neighbor, make it look busy, create FOMO here, and then have listing guides there, seller guides there, a children's coloring book with crayons. So if a family comes through, their kids can be entertained while they're looking at the house or asking important questions. And then you need to do it consistently. I'm talking like 3 to 4 open houses a weekend. I was actually having a conversation with an agent last week, and she was trying to set up her schedule to do a certain number of open houses. And for some reason, she was only putting 1 a day. but she wanted to do 4 on a weekend, but also not miss church. And I'm like, girlfriend, why don't you do 3 on a Saturday? Like, there's no rule where you can only do 1 open house a day. Have
Yeah.
power hour open houses and do 1 hour at the open house. And 90 minutes later, do another hour at another one. 90 minutes later, do another hour at another one. If you do a power hour too, people are going to think there's a lot of interest in the property because you're going to have more people there. Having a 4-hour open house and a random people walking through every 30 minutes kind of looks like your open house is dead, right? Even if 4 families come through. But if you host a power hour and 4 families are walking through, your open house is going to look poppin'. They're all going to be there at the same time. People are going to be like, man, we got to buy this house before those people do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, especially on the consistency. And also, you know, I talk to agents and I'm like, if showing up at the open house and that the actual time you're sitting in the open house is all you have to the strategy, you've already lost it, right?
Yep.
It's what you do before and even what you do after. And I also think another mistake agents make is they're not intentional. And so, you know, they're just kind of like, you know, it's like the spray and pray method. Like they'll do an open house anywhere with no intentionality. And you should be focused on like, you know, where is your market? Where is your presence? And an open house is an additional layer to that visibility that is so important, right? People associate visibility with trust, and the more visible you are in a market or a neighborhood, the more trusted you're going to be in that neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we always talk about like the before, during, and after of events. Same thing with open houses is like just really think like before the event. That way, when you're at the event, it's the during, you can be present with everyone walking in, and then what's your post open house system, right? And so it shouldn't be. I had a conversation with a girl this morning about it. She did 20 open houses and saw no results. I'm like, what are you doing in the like? What's like? Tell me your process, and there just wasn't one. So, what do you find? Like, what are some tips that you can give the girls, Kayla, about like when somebody walks into the open house? Like, what should they do? Are they checking them in? Are they following them around? Like, what's your advice?
I'm a little bit different. I don't recommend making people sign in really quick. Like, build a little bit of rapport first. And even when my husband and I were searching for houses, I didn't want to schedule private showings with the listing agent because everybody freaking knew me. I didn't want them in my business. So we went to open houses and being met at the door and it's like, hey, here's my sign-in sheet. Can you sign in for me? My sellers would love some feedback. Like, okay, can I like see the primary really quick first so that I could give you some feedback? Let them breathe, let them walk around. Maybe have a small giveaway. You could have a vendor partner give you a Amazon gift card for $25. Have them enter your raffle and then sign in and leave some feedback after they've already seen the house. I wouldn't make that step 1. Build a rapport a little bit. And if you are going to walk around with people, which I don't recommend, no one likes anyone breathing down their neck. Wait till they walk around a little bit, then start asking them questions about them and pick up on anything they say. If they say something about a dog, create a conversation around a dog. Any type of conversation that's not directly related to them being a buyer and you wanting to be their realtor. Some kind of organic rapport to where they feel naturally drawn to you and not immediately like you're a salesperson. That is such a huge tip in my opinion. And having a giveaway, people want to win stuff. I swear, people will sign up to win a pack of pins. Okay?
This is my mother. This is my mother. Every real estate conference, she's like, give me all the swag.
I have had people sign up for my raffles and it'd be like a really nice bottle of red wine. And I'm like, oh, what's your favorite type of red? And they're like, oh, I don't drink wine.
They just want to win.
They just like to win stuff. It's such an easy way to get information that's not like inorganic.
So then what do you do? What do you do post open house when you get their emails?
Post open house, I try to show them more houses. I'm like, hey, I mean, I put 2 and 2 together that you guys aren't interested in this house since, you know, you didn't write an offer with me, but I have 3 others that are kind of similar to this one, but better. Can I take you to see them next Saturday?
That's perfect.
Like, done. Make a joke, make them laugh. People feel connected to you when you're funny. I try to make people laugh all the time. Laughter turns to clients. I'm telling you, it works.
Well, and I think compounding with what you said too about quantity, So
Mhm.
when if you're doing one open house a week and then you're doing it for 4 hours and then you're doing it slightly intentional and then you're
Mhm.
trying to force the sign in and then it's just awkward, like this is just going to all of a sudden quickly spiral into something that feels completely worthless and not worth your time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing like the power hours, you're doing multiple, like you may have 2 or 3 of those that result in no connections, but then you just need the
Mhm.
one that does, right? And so it
Yeah.
really is the same name of our game. It's a contact, our business is a contact sport. Like you've got to get face to
Mhm.
face. So just
You
get
do.
people face to face and you'll find 1 or 2 that you connect with and you'll have your success.
Absolutely. And treat open houses as a lead pillar that's more than just getting buyers, because
Right.
part of door knocking the neighborhood is picking up other listings. So
Uh-huh.
your open house can bring you sellers and buyers. And then if you go live there on your social media to give people a tour, you're getting other marketing on your social media, building that like no trust factor, 5 mile famous, whatever you want to call it. Like there's 3 different lead systems here. So if you like intentionally use all 3 at each open house, if you don't see success, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, pick a
100%.
different lead pillar. Open houses aren't for you.
We've got several sellers because they've just come over and they've been like, listen, when we sell, this is the kind of exposure we want for our property.
Yep.
And this will probably take us into our next topic that is good, but my husband has worked side and side with me in my business. And one of the things he's led for me over the years is our sign crew for open houses. And so like the number one thing I hate about an open house is like, do not make me walk across the street and put a sign out. Like I just don't want to be the idiot trying to like cross the street and not fall and have my sign in my hand. And like, it's just the whole thing. And so I've been so thankful to have a husband who I'm like, can you please put out 25 signs? And we have a whole trailer with like all the different directions and he like stakes them out and makes sure and drives during the open and keeps them up. And that has got so many sellers into our opens because they're like, I didn't know what was going on in my neighborhood, but there were signs everywhere. And like, it creates that FOMO, right? Like when I sell my house, I have the same experience. I want the same exposure. So you're so right on that. And something we were talking about too is the fact that, your husband has been a big part of your business. And right now he's back at work, right? So it was funny. We asked her what to talk about, what was working. And she texted us and was like, well, what's not working is my husband being a job.
Yeah.
How do you work with like, especially as a mom with, little girls, like how do you navigate the boundaries and like family and all the roles?
100%. This, with my husband being at work, just reaffirmed the importance of having boundaries in place. And your business will be insanely chaotic without them, especially once you start getting business. At the end of December, we went from like January 1st to over 25 files right now. And it's like February 9th. That's crazy. That's
crazy.
absolutely crazy. And without systems and boundaries in place, I mean, you're on a quick road to burnout. So my top 3 non-negotiables when it comes to boundaries, I wrote them down because I can go on tangents about stuff, is to set schedule 95% of the time. 95% of the time set schedule, which sounds unheard of for some realtors. Most realtors are just used to doing whatever they have to do each and every day, led by their clients. Oh, my seller wants to meet Monday. I'm going to meet them Monday. Oh, my buyers want to see houses Tuesday at 6 p.m., and they just follow their client's lead. That mindset needs to be switched. Consumers are used to calling any business and fitting into their appointment slots. The dentist, your therapist, the chiropractor, whoever you're going to call, they're like, oh, we can see you in May on the 11th at 3 o'clock. So you telling your clients, hey, I do my showings on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Saturdays. Which day is better for you? Okay, great. I'm available before 4 on Thursday. Okay, perfect. Like they're following your lead if you make that seem what's normal for your business. If you just ask your clients, hey, what's best for you next week? They're going to pick the most random time and it's going to just happen to be the same time your kid has a dance recital, and then you're going to feel torn and you're going to let your clients lead your business versus you leading your business. That's how I run mine. My schedule is set 95% of the time. Sometimes we have some emergencies. I checked on a listing when I got back from my cruise and the pool was halfway empty. So, that took priority over everything. It had a major pool leak and I dropped everything and got that taken care of. but that shouldn't be the norm. Pools aren't leaking every single day.
Hopefully
So,
not.
Number one, set schedule. If you don't have a set schedule, your guys' action item today is to sit down and write out your calendar and figure out what your set schedule can be. Okay. And then strong onboarding for buyers and sellers.
Mm-hmm.
I coach agents, and most of the time we're talking their biggest pitfall in their business are their clients never leaving them alone. They're constantly contacting them for XYZ. When in reality, if you had a strong onboarding and you were answering questions before the buyer or seller even had an opportunity to ask them, you wouldn't be being contacted 24/7 and feeling like you're glued to your phone. They're asking questions that should have been answered, in the first week of being onboarded as a client. So audit your onboarding. What fires do you need to communicate up front that have happened in prior files, just in case they happen in the next one? These are like CYA conversations, low appraisals. If we get a very long inspection request, when we can expect an appraisal, how long you got to be gone out of your house during the inspection, little stuff like that can save you conversations in the future, which saves you time. And then number 3, practice conquering hard conversations. Tongue twister.
That is a tongue twister.
It's hard to know what to say when you're trying to set a boundary if it's something you never practice, especially if you're a people pleaser. Like if you never have hard conversations with people, you're not going to be good at trying to set a boundary. So start with close family and friends first, and then role play with other agents that you trust to have these hard conversations. Practice saying no, because then it's not going to feel like you're being chased by a lion when you're just saying no and setting a boundary. Have you guys seen that? Like, it's so funny. I'm just trying to say no. Why does it feel like I'm being chased by a lion?
Oh my goodness.
It shouldn't feel that way.
I feel that so much. Kayla,
Oh my.
I don't know about you, but the last quarter of 2025, deals got so complex. And they just maybe they were all 2025, but my last quarter, I just had them all over the place. And I had to remind myself mentally because, I love collaboration and I love working with other agents. And what you're talking about right now with the hard conversations, it doesn't just extend to our clients. It also extends to our colleagues and the other agents. And I love being kind to people. I love being nice. I love being collaborative. And I had to keep reminding myself, hard conversations doesn't mean that we have to be nice. It means that we have to be clear. And it was I stop over explaining too. So that's something else I would say is a lot of times the mom and the woman in us wants to give the full detail. Well, here's why the situation is this way.
Yeah.
And we have to learn to actually just deliver the factual piece of information that matters right then in that conversation, right?
Yeah, 100%. Be very concise and just fact-based. It removes the emotion from it and makes it feel, I know you want to be relational versus transactional, but removing a lot of that fluff makes it look like you're in control, and people trust people who are in control. So they're going to trust your lead on what you're trying to if
you're struggling with this, something tactical that you could go do is get the book Exactly What to Say Real Estate Edition by Phil Jones. And he actually has a set of cards that you can practice this with that are really, really great.
Yeah, definitely. And role play those cards with colleagues. Go through scenarios, even look at your past files. Oh, I had to put out a fire here. I had to put out a fire here. Practice those fires to where next time it just feels like an everyday, normal thing. It's no big deal. And one thing to be more powerful in conquering hard conversations is being more confident. Being more confident, you deliver your message very clear. You make eye contact better, especially if the conversation is imperfect in person. So education will help you become more confident. Watch more free YouTube videos, watch, stuff like this to become more empowered, podcasts, whatever you can get your hands on, 20 minutes a day to become more empowered, more educated. You're going to be more confident in your speech, and that's going to help you conquer more hard conversations too.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, and you can talk about this a little bit, Kayla, because you have obviously a program where they can find this kind of community, but getting in the community where people are actually talking about like the things that go wrong and the, you know, how they overcome the objections and the hurdles in this business. And so that's one of the most powerful things is like, we all have these different hurdles that come up at different places. And if we are just putting our head down and we're just focusing on our transactions and we're never in a room with other people that have those issues, then we don't actually hear other solutions. And we also don't remember like, wait, this is just part of the deal. And we internalize that as like something's wrong with us, right? And so talk to them a little bit more about where they can find more support around this and more community around this, Kayla.
Absolutely. So we have the Stay Bossy Lounge. We would love for you guys to be in it. We do 2 coaching calls a month in it, the first and third Wednesday of every single month. And we have conversations just like this. We're teaching you how to be the CEO of your business, run your schedule, and conquer hard conversations. And we also do quarterly lead generation challenges. But no matter what office you're at, even though I think we're the best brokerage, the first thing they start doing in any team meetings, trainings is lead gen. They're trying to get you to get as many leads as possible. It's a very rare that you're being taught how to put out fires. A lot of brokers, they wait for it to happen. Like, call me if you have any issues. How much better if you're prepared before the fires happen? Your career is going to be so much less stressful. I was coaching an agent a few months ago and she's like, I feel like God just sends me the most complicated deals out there. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that. Tell me about some of your complicated deals. Let's dissect it and see if we can get in front of it from happening again in the future. All normal stuff in real estate. I'm like, I'm so sorry. No one told you before you got into this career, this is real estate. You're going to be negotiating inspections all the time. You're going to be dealing with low appraisals all the time. You're going to have clients that back out and want a different house. It is routine. It's not hard files. This is just part of real estate. And once it becomes normal, it's not going to feel like an attack anymore.
Right.
If that makes sense. So being in rooms where you're getting prepared, it's going to make your career not feel like God sends you all the hard transactions. I promise you, there's no realtor out there that's just getting all the easy transactions because she's God's favorite.
Darn it. Well, that's
I was going to ask if you were coaching Randi because she says, like she was saying earlier, she's just had all the hard deals the last quarter.
Well, I had like set asides inside of probates with bankruptcies layered on, and then short sales, and then like HOA assessments. And I mean, it's been wild. It's been wild. And I mean, I think I'm hoping, God willing, we're about to close this deal. And I think we're on our 5th escrow. With this particular property, and we have boundary line. I mean, we just have it all. We have it all. We had a small probate, all the things. And it's funny because I called one of my partners locally, and she's amazing. And she's also Kristen. I was laughing at this the other day. Somebody was like, "So you and Kristen both attracted your brokers to Real?" Wait a minute, I didn't think about that. But anyway, she's
Kayla's about to do that too.
Nice. No, for real. I love it. Right. I love it.
Fixing this.
It changed my whole state. But I was on the phone with her, and she's like, "What is happening with you and your deals?" Like, I have no idea. But it was back to like to having the person, right? Like, it's so valuable to be in that community, in that space. Because I just called her and I was like, can you just talk me through this stuff? Like, and I would have unique agents on the other side that just their approach, like from day one, was like not wanting to keep the deal together. And I just don't comprehend it because I always want to keep the deal together. So like every time you message me, I feel like you just want to explode our deal. It's hard for me to not want to like unpack that. Wait, why are you doing this? Right. And so just calling her and having somebody that is really strong at like being factual when you're more of an emotional person, it's worth its weight in gold. And so like to be able to get into a room where Kayla's talking about, like we talk about this stuff, like that sometimes confidence isn't just in knowing that you're doing the right thing and knowing that you're equipped to do the right thing. Sometimes confidence comes from knowing that people that you trust that are doing this also would agree with what you're doing. Because sometimes it's just like we do feel like that one-off that we're wonder, like, wait, am I doing it the right way, right? So I think that's another beautiful thing about your coaching program is like, you know, there's people in there that you can identify that you respect and you trust their business and their integrity and how they run things. And then when there's inevitably going to be the time that you're doing something different than either a client or a colleague would do it. But when you're going, wait, the people I align with are in agreement with this, it feels a lot better, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you can just hear more stories of, you know, files having hiccups and what those hiccups are and realize like you're not alone and there's comfort in that. I've had 2-story listing completely flood from an upstairs bathroom that we were in contract, and it was like 2 feet flooded downstairs. They had to do a huge insurance claim. I've had a squatter get mad because it was being it wasn't even a squatter, subleased. We thought it was a squatter. And on closing day, they went in the attic and cut all the ductwork with a knife because they were pissed that they didn't. Oh, can I say that on here? No, it was closing day. I've had to call 911 because someone attacked me at a walkthrough. Like, there's so many crazy stories in real estate. Like, no one is alone. We can all help each other through whatever crazy situation is happening. And all 3 of those deals closed. So if I could save a deal where all the ductwork was sliced by a crackhead, we could save anything.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I love this. And ladies, watching and tuning in, I hope that this Monday, you know, gave you some motivation and some reminders that like we are all just moms making it one day at a time. But when you start bringing in like the things that Kayla was talking about today, you bring in that set schedule, you bring in that strong onboarding process, you practice having the hard conversations. That is how you begin to build a business that is life-giving and that supports your life, not the other way around. So we love getting to have Kayla as part of the community. If you're in Moms in Real Estate and you make a post or you show up or you ask anything, there is a high probability that this girl's going to pop in and champion you. And as always, you can find out on our website, heymire.com, on how to join her group. But we will also share a link for that. And is there anything else that you want to share, Kayla?
No, that's it. I hope you guys have a great day.
Yes. All right, ladies, have a wonderful Monday. Bye, guys.
Thank you.